Okay, guys, somebody popped this into my Discord. They said, Papa Gut, can you watch this? It's a pretty good video. It's from Willard Mackelmeyer. It's a good guy. It's called SNEAKO is a Silly Goose Path to Irrelevancy. You know what is interesting, though? I've been watching more like a Jon Stewart because like, I'm just more educated than all of you guys. No, because I love Jon Stewart a lot. And one of the things, I watched him have a conversation with somebody from, the English place where their English is weird. Like, oi, mate. And they were talking about they're talking about the way that they engage with different figures, for instance, like Putin, and how Jon Stewart was like, it's really interesting. You guys do a really good job of showing people to be silly, like ridiculous, like, and that's like a great way to really counter somebody is to just show how preposterous they are. And one of the ways that Putin tries to make, and I know this seems irrelevant, but just hear me out. One of the ways that Putin makes himself look cool is like he'll do things like beat professional hockey players to show how much of a man he is. He'll also do things like he'll have people like Photoshop him on a bear. And it sounds when people see it on social media, they think it's so cool. But when you kind of look through it, it's like, wow, this is really cringe and silly. And that's kind of what happened to SNEAKO. Everybody thought he was a really cool guy because he yelled and screamed and like he could be funny sometimes. But then you hear what he says and he looks ridiculous. And now I think he's just a meme. And I don't think that a lot of people take him super seriously. And for the few people who do, for the most part, as you get older, you'll realize he's a silly goose. And it's funny because I think that despite the fact that Destiny's his friend, Destiny's the one who really did it. I mean, he just kind of put a mirror to the guy, and now it's all funny. And it seems like Destiny's really the only person left that'll even kind of be his friend. And yet that's probably one of the worst relationships that he's really ever had for making him look serious. So I don't know. Anyway, let's go.
Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while. I've been on a bit of a red pill binge lately. I've been watching this cute little twink boy named SNEAKO. And you know what? He's really been waking me up, saying some stuff that seriously resonates with me.
I just want to bully this guy. Like,
that resonates with me too, except only with girls.
Bring bullying back. Bullying is necessary.
I couldn't agree more. SNEAKO is a thought leader who lives by trying to seek the truth.
Wow. Dude, I mean, like, let's be real though. Picking your nose, I pretend I'm itching it.
Though he can't explain what that truth is.
My motto for the stream is seek truth through funny. I want to be able to tell the truth. You don't talk about the issues that you don't question the powers that be, and you don't talk about the uncomfortable truths that are really happening. I've always said this on my stream. If they hide it, then it's the truth. If they have to delete it, then it's the truth.
He's made a career off of suckling off the success of Andrew Tate.
I want to be the top G one day. I want to be there.
Tate is currently under investigation for human trafficking and has admitted to holding women's passports hostage. And SNEAKO's just like, it's normal. They should just ask for it back.
Hold on, did Tate actually say he took their passports? Yes, he did say that. Okay, so that's how they can't leave then. He actually takes the passports. And he probably lies and he says it's for tax reasons. I think you're glazing right now, bro.
They could have asked for it back. They kicked out many women. Destiny, do you not hear about the podcast? You have selective hearing. You don't hear about how many times these women were acting up and they kicked him out because they didn't know how to obey?
Based.
What you just said sounds like sex trafficking, my dude. I don't know how you don't understand that.
That's what you deep down need to do, is be a submissive wife who bleeds once a month and cries at movies. Fat
That's base, man.
lying piece of shit. I would beat the f*** out of you, your dumb mouth that I want to... It's something. It's comedy. It's funny. Crack some...
Why is that funny though? Like, that's my thing. Like, I can get a little raunchy, but how is it funny to just tell like, oh, I want to forcefully penetrate your mouth? Like, haha, like that's an LOL funny. Who resonates with that? Like, what's the joke? I don't really get it. But okay, hey, I guess humor is subjective.
Jokes and stuff like that.
This is gonna be a fun video. You see, SNEAKO isn't very good at building arguments, so let me point you to people who are good at building things. Like PCs. Meta PC.
Oh.
Is your PC crusty and disgusting like mine? Is it blue screen every time you try and run Premiere? We don't have to live like this any longer. Meta PCs is the gold standard of pre-built gaming computers, putting together...
I have been thinking about getting a new computer, but, I was gonna get one from NZXT, but I don't know, man. I'm just confused. I'm like a boomer when it comes to doing PC stuff. So it's just a weird thing for me, bro.
The cleanest builds out there. My favorite part about Meta is how you can tailor the build to your liking, picking out the exact graphics card and CPU you want without having to spend time searching for a good deal online. And the customization is fire. This is my rig, and hot damn is it sexy. And Meta is...
Hey, it says WMS, women's menstruation. Damn, I thought I'd be quicker than that. Sorry.
A veteran-owned and operated business right here in the United States, and the quality reflects that. The computer is clean, organized, and ready to go right out of the box. All I had to do was plug in the graphics card, which Meta had a step-by-step YouTube video on, and even a manual to help me out. Look, if you're gonna be spending
You gotta plug in your own graphics. I just feel like I couldn't handle it. I mean, I built my own computer before, but like I was years ago. I feel like I've just kind of removed that information from my brain for, you know, better information. Like, nothing. I have nothing. I have nothing in my head anymore. I feel like I feel like I'm engaging in brain rot almost every day. This is the only thing I do now. So
PC money, make sure it's done by professionals who will do it right. Use code Willie with the link in the description to get a special discount on your Meta PC. Thank you, Meta PCs, for sponsoring this video. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, our favorite soy boy SNEAKO.
Who is this cute little lesbian, and how tight is her pussy?
SNEAKO's content and message largely revolves around destroying women. He loves watching these—
Yeah, I have a real question. I wonder, would iDubbbz have like spoken out and made fun of SNEAKO? Like back in the day? You know? Because let's be real, the only people that are really calling out SNEAKO, let's be real. The only people who were calling out SNEAKO before it was palatable to call out SNEAKO were people that were on the, you know, they were a little, like, you know, you might consider them soy boys, okay? Now, I'm one of those soy boys. I think, I'm not saying that Willie Mac didn't call him out. I think he did before, like, you know, it was, but like, you know, it's been ever since he pretty much, you know, started messing with Destiny, and then you know, fucked around with ABBA too. That's kind of when it became more socially palatable to do so without like his fans like you know, crying and shitting on him or shitting on you, you know, because that's what would have happened. So yeah, I kind of forgot the point that I was making. What the fuck happened to my brain?
And how tight—
Oh yeah, would iDubbbz have called him out though? Like, do you think that SNEAKO would have been able to get away with like all the preposterous shit he was saying years ago? Would iDubbbz just agree with him because they were more, I guess, a more edgy conservative-ish? Or what I think is more likely is that iDubbbz might have made like a meme, a goof about him, and SNEAKO would have never maybe rose as prominently as he did. I feel like he would have done a content cop. Isn't it so funny? I feel like it's weird. I don't know. What a weird time. Do you think that there just wasn't as much policing of like dumb fucking manosphere content for some reason? Because there's not enough like prominent, more edgier figures that left that'll have like the credibility of the edgelords that are willing to speak out. I mean, Destiny did, but you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just something to think about because I feel like iDubbbz would have talked shit about him. So
is her pussy?
SNEAKO's content and message largely revolves around destroying women. He loves watching these street interviews.
Yeah,
it's what he bases his entire worldview off of.
Why are the women who say they won't settle okay with settling for living and dying alone with a dozen cats?
Based. It's unfortunate because there's a huge problem with on the street content, and of course SNEAKO would engage with it, and that is that you can get anybody to say anything on street content. If I wanted to, I could go out tomorrow and I could interview. I can go out tomorrow on the street and I can interview about anything and I can get whatever answer I want because I'm going to go out there for hours until I get enough answers that I want, and then I'm going to put a video together. I'm going out in New York City and I'm going to see how many people love to fuck cats. I'm going to get a couple of people who say that they like doing it. Now, most people will say that's obviously wrong and preposterous, but I'll be able to get enough people so that I can say, guys, everyone in New York loves to fuck cats. That's the problem. And, you know, if you're too susceptible to that, like there's either one of two things. Either you're kind of dumb and think that like on the street content is reliable and accurate information, even though it's very easy to manipulate. Or you don't care and you just want to hear what you want to hear. And I think that makes you an additional type of stupid because you want to be told a lie. And I think SNEAKO's that person. I think he wants to be told a lie. I think that's what it comes down to. I think that this dude's so traumatized from his relationship with his ex-girl that like he hates women and he just wants to hate women and he wants to look for things that make him feel validated in hating women. And of course I'm referring to when, you know, he got cocked by her. You know, and I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. I'm really not. I'm just saying like that. I really think that this dude has like a really big issue associated with that.
They're egotistical and they don't want to ever admit that they need a man or that maybe they failed in the dating game.
He'll occasionally do street interviews himself to try and prove that women can't think logically.
Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Oh shit.
Joe Byron. Byron. That's the only reason why. Mostly because his policies actually is probably done a little more. I mean, like, listen, guys, we're gonna have to vote Biden out until he gets us our until he starts paying for student loan debt. Am I right? No, I don't know. It'd be cool, I guess, but realistically, we need like a long-term solution to lower schools rates.
This
But
is gonna sound so like
hard.
privileged white girl of me, but I'm not that into politics, so I don't have much say on
That's fair.
neither. Middle, I don't know.
Well, you say neither. So should women vote?
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
He thinks that's an own. He thinks that since these girls don't personally vote, then no woman should vote.
Yeah, well, a lot of young people are ignorant when it comes to voting and stuff. So
They are so goddamn.
and old people too. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to be biased against young, dumb, white, blonde college girls. I didn't give a fuck about voting when I was younger. I was ignorant as shit too.
And we still put up with it. They'll never learn. They won't. They don't have to.
SNEAKO will take random moments of some girl getting stopped in the street and asked a basic ass question like, hey, is everyone special? And she'll say yes. SNEAKO will then freak out.
Special.
Everybody's special. You're special. You're all.
Oh my god!
What? By the way, it's so funny though because I feel like something that's like really negatively impacting men is that they don't feel special. And so when you say like, hey, I think everybody should feel special, you should feel special to yourself, that's a really positive message that even young men can feel good about. Because like I think that we have a bit of a mental health crisis. And I wouldn't say it's worse for men, but I think that men don't seek out solutions as much as women because they perceive it as like weak. And it would be a really good thing to be like, you know what, guys, hey, listen, on a macro level, none of us are that important. But on a micro level, you should be very important to yourself. You should feel very special. You know, you should feel good about what you're doing, you know, in your own world. And that could be so positive for our mental health crisis, especially for young men. Women as well, but, you know, I'm going from the male perspective. And so he was like, oh my God, you really think that you're special? Like, no, nobody's really special. Like, I'm not special. Nope. But like I have people who care about me. And those people are special to me. So why does it matter if I'm special to everybody in the entire world? Why can't I just be special to the people in my atmosphere? You know what I mean? And that's a really positive mental health conversation to have with yourself. You really make yourself feel better and really work on your own mental health. But
Every single.
True. SNEAKO doesn't actually care about men's mental health. I forgot. He's just so fucking virtue signal. He doesn't really give a shit about men, young men. Yeah.
Time.
Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do anything you want to do.
You can't just make up a reality in her head. She can because she's a woman. Men can't just make it up. I'm a king. No, you. Give me the castle, pussy. That's what happens.
Okay.
Modern female delusion every single time with the illusion.
Who is this guy kidding? If anyone was stopped randomly and asked these sort of contradicting questions, they would get caught up in it, as SNEAKO himself.
I would argue that our society is the least.
It is. Women have the most rights ever right now, and they still act like they're oppressed. They have more rights today than they've ever had.
That's true. Here's the problem, because I'm only gonna half agree. Here's the problem. I think in America, I don't even know if it's America. In the Western world, I think everybody's a victim, and they want to be victims. And this manosphere shit is victimhood for men, by the way. By the way, like, what does the manosphere do? It yells and screams and tells young men that all the problems in the world are because of women. Explain to me how that's not a victim complex. Everybody wants to be oppressed nowadays. You know, we look at these like really big things like systemic racism and like the patriarchy and the this and that, and like these things that do exist, but everybody applies them in a way that like victimizes themselves. Like we should all be educated on different problems in the world, but everybody's like over identifying it with like every person of any like marginalized group. They're like, I must identify with everything from like everything of like the worst oppression ever from every group ever. You know, it's not like, oh, that's an interesting idea. It's like nowadays when it comes to TikTok, like all women are like, oh my, like I'm talking about TikTok feminists are like, oh, the patriarchy exists, that means that I must be oppressed. And then all men are like, oh, women, like there are some really pieces of shit women gold diggers, I must be oppressed because of that. And it's like, maybe that's not true. Maybe it's a good thing to acknowledge issues that you have in your life, but you shouldn't victimize yourselves on it, because then you start looking through everything as a lens. Like fat people, you know, there's some fat people, like I'm fat, right? Some fat people focus too much on how fat they are, and then they think that every negative interaction they have in the world is because they're fat. Instead, maybe it's just that that's a thing that you can identify with, but it doesn't mean that you're oppressed. You know what I mean? You know, it's about acknowledging like a particular struggle, but not victimizing yourself on it.
So do black people. So do you think black people shouldn't try to fight for more?
Oh, that was a good question. But racism is not natural. Patriarchy is natural. That's biology. Racism is based in just hatred.
Yeah, SNEAKO, the film school.
Honestly, I'd argue that tribalism is like natural, and that like it's not. But that doesn't mean that natural is good, right? Like I would say that tribalism, like segregating each other, is probably like a natural thing that's done in the wild. but I don't think it's a good thing, right? So his argument's just silly.
Dropout is going to tell us how biology is related to human rights.
Yo, is this person retarded?
Yes.
He's someone who will often project while reacting to videos. He's usually just describing himself.
Damn, she's dumb. This is when a girl only knows how to disagree. She got triggered by a question, and I know women. All she's gonna do is look to disagree now. As soon as you trigger them, they stop making sense. They just need to fight you.
This is SNEAKO.
I mean, I think that women are only making sense on the dollar. 80 cents on the dollar. You deserve it, though, biologically, if you think about it, because patriarchy is biological. So
argues points that make zero sense just because he's too proud to admit he's wrong in a debate. I've seen this guy argue that seatbelts make vehicles more unsafe.
Seatbelts do too. Do you wear a seatbelt when you drive, or do you not give a fuck with it?
I have this thing where you can put a seatbelt thing you can buy on Amazon. This is like advice for the chat. You can get like a seatbelt thing on Amazon that clicks in and then it gets rid of the beeping sound.
You could also just click it in behind you and not have to buy an entire contraption on Amazon. But hey, like, you're the one with the smarties.
Okay, so you don't wear seatbelts either. Do you think seatbelts make you safer when you drive?
There's some circumstances where a seatbelt actually restricts you and traps you inside the car. You can see accidents.
There are some circumstances where somebody could
collision.
Yeah.
You get mad interrupting now.
Yeah. There are circumstances where.
Hold on. Desi, let him finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can get into a collision, and if you have a seatbelt on, then you can get trapped in the car, and the car can catch on fire. But sometimes, if you're not wearing a seatbelt, there's instances where people have like literally flown out the windshield because they weren't wearing a seatbelt and they survived. But a seatbelt could trap you in there.
What do you think is more common? Do you understand statistics or probability?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's more common.
He knows he's wrong. He just won't man up and admit it. He's so stupid, he thinks Hitler isn't a Nazi. Hitler!
You think that, like, Kanye was joking when he said that he liked Hitler, though?
No, he's being truthful. But he was saying something provocative on purpose. The overall idea, see, people say, like, oh, look, he's a Nazi. No, he's not. He's black. Yeah, he's not a Nazi. That's the point.
Okay. Yeah, but you said he can be a Nazi because he's black.
Okay, but he's not a Nazi.
Oh, wait, but not because he's black. Just for other reasons.
Well, you also can't be a true Nazi. You have to be blonde hair, blue eyed. Even Hitler wasn't a true Nazi.
Or like a neo-Nazi, I suppose.
Yeah.
I feel like if that's how you're defining Nazi becomes a useless statement because if we can't even call the leader of the Nazi movement a Nazi, then
by his own definition, he wasn't part of the master race. So
yeah, then nobody's a Nazi. So it doesn't seem like that's a good definition of Nazi.
Wow.
Owned by a woman? Cringe.
Based, yeah, no, that's fucking crazy. Like, obviously, I mean, SNEAKO probably doesn't mean that, but he's just so fucking dumb. Like, he's just redefining things in person, you know? But I'd say, like, Kanye is probably, I mean, like, it's hard to say he's not a Nazi at this point, right? I mean, this guy said that Hitler was a cool guy and that, like, Nazi soldiers weren't bad people and shit. You know, I don't know. It's just, it's sad stuff. He said he loves Hitler. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of hard to argue against that. He also, you know, pushes the Jewish question constantly, you know, and which is, how much salmon should I have on my bagel? That is the ultimate Jewish question. So
SNEAKO is so stupid, he doesn't even know the difference between an Aryan and a Nazi. SNEAKO is so stubborn, he won't even admit the leader of the Nazi party was a Nazi.
As soon as you trigger them, they stop making sense.
No, definitely not. Not better than men, but we are better than men.
Imagine if I said that shit. If I said, no, men are better than women. And you go, why?
Well, you do say that, though. We've talked about that. You literally think men are better than women. Both, that's why you're all stupid. He said that to me. He thinks men are better than women. Like, to me, when we had our conversation. Yeah, you are that dumb. Like, if you think that men are better than women or women are better than men, unironically, you're an idiot. Like, that's all it boils down to. It's fun to joke and meme, but, like, you're being stupid. Imagine I said that. You do say that. Oh, yeah, well, imagine I farted. Like, what do you want me to tell you, dude?
Just because, it's my personal opinion. I'm just better than you. Like, as a gender, I'm just better.
He does do that all the time.
Yeah.
Literally in the same video, he does that.
If I said that, I would have a million reasons as to why men are better than women. More physically capable, smarter, faster, more capable of leading.
You gotta feel bad for
saying all that, and he still let his girlfriend convince him to fucking watch her get raw dogged by 3 other guys. So, like, how are you this masculine leader that's better than women when a woman can, you know, fucking manipulate you into just, like, letting you touch another man's balls while you're both fucking her? Like, that's just bizarre, brother.
This chick, you just see the smile falling from her face.
Just, like, built better. We don't have extra body fat. We don't get pregnant for 9 months and get all emotional once a month. I can come in with reasons.
And she never came out and stream again. Wow. I wonder why he's single.
She doesn't know how to submit. Feminism has brainwashed these girls into thinking that they need to be all woke and shit like that. What you really want is a good man to fuck. Yeah, come here, shut the fuck up with your feminism. Shut up, Chad. Shut the fuck up.
Incredible. It's interesting because, like, usually a good man won't be an obnoxious fucking toddler. I think that's what women are looking for, you know. And I'm not saying that all women are good women, by the way, because there's plenty of annoying, shitty women. Okay, but I'd say that there's just as many good women out there as there are good men. So let's just be real here. And SNEAKO is not one of them. Yeah, so
Yeah. That's what you need. You need that. The women are already pretty much run by the state. Women are easier to manipulate. Men are more capable of independent thought. It is what it is. I know that might sound misogynistic. Men are the philosophers. Men are the thought leaders. Stop believing in this feminist garbage.
I don't know. Considering his entire identity is always somebody else, I don't think that's he can say, like, not for nothing. I know people, like, I say this a few times, and I know people get upset with me, but I'm going to maintain this probably forever. People used to think SNEAKO was a super intelligent guy, and maybe he was. I didn't watch SNEAKO when he was, at his height of intellectual thought, when people thought that he was, at least. But my thing is that when he was young, he was saying things that people would consider intelligent, but I think that he was mostly just parroting other content creators that he liked. And because he was so young, it came off like he was saying super intelligent shit. But he was mostly just saying what like other content creators that he liked were saying, And I say that because if you look at him now, all he does is say what Andrew Tate's saying all the time. And I think that he's always just been kind of a shell, just another person in action, but not really knowing why he's saying what he's saying. So... even if men are the philosophers, which I don't know that that's true, I don't think that you're one of them. You're just a loud follower, That's it.
We're not equal. You're weaker than me. You're hormonal.
Oh, shit, hormonal.
You're supposed to have children, and you don't want to.
What is happening? He sounds like some Al-Qaeda politician. Women, no driving, no working, only meant for bleeding.
That's what you deep down need to do. Is be a submissive wife who bleeds once a month and cries at movies. You are more emotional. You know why?
Hey, you know what I think is pretty submissive? Watching your girlfriend get fucked by other guys. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being a submissive man, by the way. Nothing wrong with it, okay? But I'm just saying, maybe don't talk about how other people should be submissive, bro. I don't know.
Because women are weaker.
Shit.
Chad.
True.
Me and you, we get in the cage. Who's winning in a fight?
Hey guys. Nothing proves that men are better than women by constantly saying we'll beat you up if you disagree. Hey, you think you're better than me? I'm going to violently assault you. That'll prove to you that I'm better than you because I'm going to violently attack you. Oh, that proves it. That proves everything. Oh my goodness. By the way, who makes technology? The strong guys? Nah, like weak nerds. Oh, well, they're not as good as the strong guys though, because they know fight. If no fight can't be good. Literally every fucking affluent person who's created technology that matters is a fucking little nerd idiot. Well, smart nerd. And you're going to talk about how physical strength is better than everything else? I mean, come on. Do you think that's a little silly goosery to me? Oh shit. That's a little silly. All right, I'm not saying don't be strong. You know what I mean? It's really good to work on your body. I'm just saying, it's just kind of a silly thing to say. But
I'm just saying.
Yes, SNEAKO, you can beat up a woman. Really manly of you, dude. I present you the Ray Rice Award. What's wild is this lady never said that women can beat up men. All she said was that men can get emotional too, which is true. SNEAKO.
Oh yeah, men just tend to manifest their emotions differently. It's mostly through anger, and that's one of the biggest problems that I have with feminism, by the way. Is that I think that feminism says that it's okay for men to be emotional sometimes, which I think is true, but they don't acknowledge that men tend to be emotional through anger, which I think is okay. It's not okay to get violently angry and disproportionate, but it's okay as a man to be angry and to process it how you need to process it. And I think that's one of the things that bothers me a little bit about the feminist perspective is that it doesn't say okay, you're angry, that's okay. It sometimes can tell you oh, you can cry, but that's not usually how men have emotions. Why can't I be angry? Oh, well, that scares me. It's okay, you can't be violently angry, but if I'm angry and I want to be left alone, why can't you leave me alone to process my feelings the way I want to? And that's something that's something that I think that we should talk about more, because I think that's a good message to talk about.
No one's cried on stream because Brandon Buckingham called him a cuck and challenged him to a boxing match.
What would you think if that happened to you, Chad?
Accused him of sexual assault, false rape accusations.
The dude was so sad he had to open a window.
Damn. Me too, man.
Oh my god, man.
He was holding back tears on stream.
The same people, it's the most hate comes from
wow, not so tough when having to deal with the guy that would beat the fuck out of him. But woman, yes, he'll fight a woman.
Let's go party.
I feel like SNEAKO hates women because he's very close to identifying as one. I'm gonna read this tweet from Jeremy and I want to see if this correlates to SNEAKO at all. Loads of right-wing commentators are either closeted gays or tranny chasers. Look,
it's kind of true. I don't like the T word, but it is. Matt Walsh frankly. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's the most feminine men, and there's nothing wrong with being a feminine man, but it's the most feminine men hate like gay people and women the most. It's so bizarre. But
accept and support them. But many of these people you think are based and red-pilled love trans cock. Or, well, cock in general.
I mean, I'm not against trans penis. Well, I'm against it on my penis. You know what I'm saying? Just saying, dude.
Deal with it. I mean, what other straight guy has so many half-naked photos of himself? He was jerking off in front of a male photographer, laying next to a—
Hey, listen. Well, let me get this off the screen. Hold on a second.
another man's ass. As a kid, he wore his sister's dress. Did I mention he was touching his peener in front of a male photographer? This was uncensored. I had to censor this. He was—
Okay, good. I got to get it off the screen first. Listen, all I'm going to say is sometimes, as a man, listen, I've taken pictures of myself, and I've gone, wow, that looks pretty good. I've made myself... I've aroused myself before. There's nothing wrong with that. Self-confidence, okay? It's self-confidence, guys. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying.
half chub, for sure. He has stories of these old guys eating out his girl while his peener is still in her, meaning other men have licked his wiener.
And so while I'm like hitting it from the back, he lays down on the floor and starts licking her. But think about like the logistics of that.
Dick is that close?
Think about the logistics. Like his head is like under, it's like 6 inches. Like his eyebrows are like tickling the bottom, and I have to like move, like go like that so I don't make contact because his eyebrows are like tickling.
You only got to look at this guy for a minute to realize he's crying out for help. You see, once on stream, he admitted he caught a friend using the app Grindr.
I realized halfway through the ride, I'm like, oh shit, he left his phone. I pick up his phone from the passenger seat. I look up, 2 notifications from Grindr, chat.
Based.
He had 2 notifications from Grindr. I'm not gonna bring it up. That's the option that I'm clicking. Just ignore it and keep pretending that he's straight. I want to keep living in the lie. Why is that not an option? Keep living in the lie.
This is sad. SNEAKO, you would be accepted.
You know what's another thing that's like really cringe about SNEAKO? If you notice, he does this thing like when we talked, he would talk about how like, oh, you have stuffed animals in the back room. Oh, that's blah, blah, blah. You know, not for nothing, but I'm a grown man. And I have like silly things. Like I have like Funko Pops and like collectibles in the back. You know, I have like a Leviathan axe that my wife bought me for Christmas once. I have the Chaos Blades that my wife bought me for Christmas another time. You know, I'm living the dream, frankly. And I put them up there because I think that they're cool. But according to SNEAKO, I need to care about what other men think about me. That's gay. That's what we call gay. Okay. Oh fuck this little twink boy thinks that it's cringe that I have Funko Pops. I got to get rid of them. That's gay. Like, why do I care about what another fucking man thinks about me? Like, I don't care. I think it's cool. I like it. That's it. That's all it comes down to. I mean, like, why? Who cares what other people? What's going on here? Oh, who cares what other people think? Like, that's the thing. That's the whole. I mean, frankly, that used to be the justification or a part of being a man is not caring what people think. Now, apparently, it's the only thing you're supposed to do is care what other people think. It's fucking bizarre.
Jeremy accepts you.
Who is this cute little lesbian, and how tight is her pussy?
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school.
As we've already seen, SNEAKO isn't the brightest. He completely ignores all facts, logic, and common sense when it comes to things that challenge his core values, and Andrew Tate is definitely one of them. He's said multiple times that he wants to be the next Andrew Tate.
I'm trying to be that. I want to be the top G one day.
When the Tates got banned off YouTube, Tristan passed the torch to SNEAKO, and he completely creamed himself.
I'm going to continue living the life. So, SNEAKO, young man, if I disappear, I'm passing the torch to you. Keep spreading the message while it's still relevant to talk.
Tristan Tate.
Imagine getting inspired by that. That's like if you get inspired by a fucking like DX coming out in fucking WWE and saying suck it to everybody. Like literally, like you're falling for like a fucking wrestling promo there. I'm passing the torch on to you. Triple H. Oh shit. That's it. That's weird. That's funny though. I mean, wrestling is actually kind of entertaining though. Certainly more entertaining than the Tate brothers. So I kind of have to apologize there to the wrestling fans. Especially because I don't want to be ableist because most people like wrestling or have some kind of, you know, usually they're Down syndrome, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Wrestling is very entertaining. I'm just saying if you look at it for whatever reason, all the people I know with Down syndrome love wrestling, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just interesting. It's just interesting, you know. And I do know a good amount of people because you know, my wife works with. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it because wrestling is kind of cool. It's just there's too much talking nowadays. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it was cool as hell. You remember when like Stone Cold Steve Austin would fucking come in and like the whole crowd gets like tingles in my body. I feel like that's gone now. You know, I'm just saying they did CM Punk dirty. That's all I'm saying. Literally, because he had MRSA.
He said he passed me the torch. It's not going to be easy, but they won't die out because truth will always prevail.
Wow, inspiring. This would skyrocket SNEAKO's career. In a lot of ways, he was Tate's successor. His growth became tied to Tate's success. So that means that SNEAKO has to side with Andrew Tate on every point, all the time. For instance, Andrew Tate gets investigated for sex trafficking. It's an ongoing case, so I can't blame people for picking sides and coming to their own conclusion. However, I think when it comes out that Andrew Tate is holding women's passports so they can't leave, we could all be a little critical of that. Yeah. Surely.
Hold on, did Tate, wait, I think Tate, did Tate actually say he took their passports? Yes, he did say that. Okay, so that's how they can't leave then. He actually takes the passports. And he probably lies and he says it's for tax reasons.
Probably, yeah, it's based.
I think you're glazing right now, bro.
They could ask for it back. They kicked out many women. Destiny, do you not hear about the podcast? You have selective hearing. You don't hear about how many times these women were acting up and they kicked him out because they didn't know how to obey?
He's such a simp for Andrew Tate. He cheers Candace Owens on when she says he's probably not a rapist.
Ran in an article last night was a transcript of a woman basically saying that she didn't want to get a tattoo. Allegedly, all of the girls that Andrew Tate is with, they have a...
Hey, listen, if you listen to Andrew Tate's words, I mean, like, this has been exposed by, like, Bruce Rivers CLR. I mean... This guy literally says he treats women like fucking prostitutes. Like, he said, I treat them differently from like webcam models. Once that Bruce Rivers shit came out, I was like, yeah, this guy's a sex trafficker. That's all it takes. I don't know what other information that you need to like really prove it to you. That's all like it really takes. You know, he was saying shit like that. He's talking about how he takes money from these women. He'd has them fall in love with him, brings them from other countries. Half of them never did sex work before this, that he has to sleep with them all. And then those two women, when it came out like that they were trying to leave, the only reason that they were able to leave is because like that the Tates were convinced that they were so in love with them that they would come back. I mean, like, how is this not, you know, the middle ground on Andrew Tate isn't, oh, he's innocent. It's like he's probably guilty based on what he said, but I'm going to wait for the trial to be concluded. That's the most middle ground argument you can have. You can't say that he's innocent anymore. You just can't based on like the literal facts that are out. So
a tattoo of his name on their body. And she says, no, I want to like keep my body pure. And he's like, well, I'm paraphrasing here. If you're going to be with me, your body belongs to me and you need to get this tattoo. I do not find that to be evidence that he is a rapist.
It's enough. That by itself is enough evidence that he's a scumbag. With like the 17 other things that I've just said, I don't think it sounds like maybe he is. Yeah, he's definitely a sex trafficker by his own account, though. You know, but that's all. But that's probably see. This is the problem. We're in a paradox. See, if you realize that Andrew Tate is a dishonest piece of shit, how could he be being honest about sex trafficking those women? But if you do take Andrew Tate seriously and you think he's credible, then you have to believe that he's a sex trafficker. It's a wild world we live in, guys.
Wanda Owens in the chat.
Really? This is what he's clapping for? The bar is set that low, huh? Tate is forcing at best his employees and at worst trafficked women to get his name tattooed on them, and we're just ignoring that. But it's not evidence that he raped anyone. Woo! Classic Tate W. Andrew Waite in the chat. Candace Owens would then explain how her friend talked to Tate at a dinner party years ago.
She spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him, right? They were having a conversation. He spoke to her. And at the end of this dinner, as I am not paying attention because I've got butterflies in my stomach and I'm falling in love with my husband, she comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania. I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania. And I'm sitting here going, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You notice a difference in how men are treated now? You know, pimps back in the 70s used to be extremely respected men.
No, listen, pimps have. Oh, listen, I don't know where SNEAKO comes from. I know somewhere in New York. You know, I grew up in New York too, and like I grew up in it wasn't a horrible area, but there was a good amount of prostitutes, and every prostitute who's ever propositioned me, looks like they're on drugs, because the reality is that these mostly women are force-fed drugs by their pimps to continuously work, and they're fucking like abused by these fucking men. Pimps were never good people. They were never respected. This is the fucking dumb fuck lens that like dumb people view the world through. Like, I don't understand how you can on the one hand talk about how porn is bad, and then on the other hand justify porn and like look up to a guy, Andrew Tate, who literally got most of his money from doing webcam prostitution. Like, it doesn't make sense. Oh, I'm religious, but it's okay for my fucking hero to take advantage of women. What are you talking about? Like, stop pretending that, like, fucking being a pimp is cool. It's abusive. I don't understand. Like, it's just fucking bizarre. Like, what a delusional thought. Like, what a fucking privileged, delusional thought to have. It's fucking crazy.
Pimps used to be looked at and revered because they were an example of people who were self-governing, who controlled a lot, they were powerful.
Like, how is this
dumb little kids thought that?
Takeaway. Do some critical thinking for 1 second. I wonder why Andrew Tate has been lying, going on all these podcasts saying he isn't doing this webcam shit anymore.
About the webcam business.
I'm not even in that. I haven't been in that business like 6 years.
I'm not in the business. I just have my brother run it. That's what he'll actually say. He'll pretend he's not in it, but his brother runs it and he still collects revenue. Like, it's very obvious.
When he still is. It wasn't until he was arrested people realized he was still doing this shit, lying the whole time. SNEAKO, just like everybody else, was lied to. He had no idea.
Tate and Tristan, they don't do the webcam business anymore because the message is bigger. The Tates got rich by pimping. They didn't have an audience. Now they do, and they're off to better things.
Well, they're still pimping, and SNEAKO hasn't said a word about it. I understand that Andrew Tate hasn't been found guilty yet, but SNEAKO isn't even the least bit critical. He sucks his dick.
True. Being a pimp is as respectable as like a doctor or a lawyer, you know? Except like, if you really think about it, doctors and lawyers, what are they really bringing to society? You know, they're just... they're just doing things like defending Andrew Tate. I think about it. Those...
at every opportunity, defending him over every small criticism. Andrew Tate gets made fun of for his terrible music.
Me, that's me. Big boss is Mr. Plenty.
It stunk. It was annoying.
Damn.
It was...
Damn. Anthony Fantino, come on, bro. That was so based. It was like Pitbull without the dog, you know?
Basic as hell.
Yeah, the song sucks ass. It's awful. But watch how SNEAKO defends his boy.
You know what? I don't think you should be able to fucking make music reviews if you can't make a song yourself. You've never made a song. What the fuck do you know about music?
And then legitimately, the next day, SNEAKO pearl clutches and cries about Critical's music.
Promoting drugs.
I got my balls, slap my face, ready to go.
Okay, you see the antichrist on his forehead? Upside down.
It's a song that says slapping balls on my face and you're taking it seriously. Incredible world we live in, guys. Hey, guys, I'm just trying to bring truth through comedy. By the way, when I see a comedy, I cry. Like, what the fuck?
Cross? What is that? And this is the reason I started believing in God. When people that look like this start promoting Satanism.
He goes, let's fornicate. Ready, he goes, let's fornicate.
Okay, promoting sin.
Is he real? This guy's such a loser. He's gargling Andrew.
Promoting sin? You're justifying Andrew Tate having a fucking webcam business. That's fucking sex traffics women. This guy's fucking crazy. Holy shit. How is there more fucking things about SNEAKO?
Tate's balls. Don't make fun of Mr. Tate's music unless you make music. Andrew Tate is the best. Meanwhile, he's crying like a Christian soccer mom over a joke song. I don't get it. Aren't you the edgy joke guy? The fact that you take this shit so literally is embarrassing.
What is the... Is it supposed to be funny?
Yes.
Is it supposed to be degenerate?
Yes, that's the joke.
You could just not find it funny and like not care. Like, you don't have to. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Did he get a call from someone on Epstein's Island to promote Satanism?
Probably, yeah.
This guy wanted to be a comedian, yet joke police is Charlie. Pick a lane, dude. He then gets mad because Charlie says he's buffer than SNEAKO. So SNEAKO, being the brave man that he is, wants to fight 5'6" Charlie.
You know what? It's interesting if you think about it. I was watching The Joker yesterday with my wife. She actually liked the movie. It was a really good movie. Watching it again, it's really good. But one of the interesting things is that, like, towards the end of the movie, a little spoiler alert. What's the end of the movie? He's on with like Murray, which is the Italian guy. What the Italian guy? Oh my God, what's his name? What's the Italian guy's name? I want to say Leonardo DiCaprio, but it's Mel Brooks. I don't. It's none of those guys. Somebody tell me the name of the fucking guy, bro. Literally, he's famous. He's a famous Italian man. Come on. Somebody in the fucking chat help me out here. Robert De Niro! Thank you. Okay? Fuck! Sorry. Anyway, Robert De Niro's character is an actual like late show comedian in the movie, okay? And he makes fun of the Joker, you know, Joaquin Phoenix's character. Now, in the comedy world, if you look at it from a comedy perspective, the Joker takes it way too seriously and gets too upset about it. That's how comedy is. You should be able to take shots at each other and have a little bit of fun. And even the way that De Niro treats him like behind the scenes is like, hey, you could do whatever character. If you look at it, he's like, you want to come out dressed as the Joker and do a character? That's fine. You want me to call you the Joker? That's fine. He's giving him a lot of comedic liberties to try to make his career as a comedian. He's actually throwing him a huge bone. He's having him on. He's giving him like a big spotlight. He's calling him what he wants. He's letting him come out in the Joker attire, even though that attire is associated with a political movement that is like that is justifiable in the universe because they're oppressing the poor, but is associated with like killing people, rich people. And he's like, you do you with your liberty. This is your shot. And he's given the shot and he's poking fun at him, but he's giving him his chance to speak. And what does he do? He shoots him because he's so sensitive about the jokes as a comedian that he shoots him because he's not a real comedian. And that is SNEAKO. He pretends he thinks he's a comedian and he's really not. He's really not a comedian. He thinks that he just likes to be, he says based, edgy stuff that he thinks is funny. But when he receives any criticism, he can't laugh it off. He's literally the Joker from the movie Joker. Okay? And what's interesting is if you watch that movie, you realize that there's a scene there that they allude at a scene where Joaquin Phoenix's character, the Joker, watches his girlfriend get fucked by 3 guys at the same time. So they actually are, he is the Joker. He's the jokester from the movie Jokester.
I'm not calling him small. I'm saying he has no muscles. He's probably taller than me, no doubt.
Damn, no muscles.
Yeah.
Get him. Yeah.
But hit the gym. Andrew Tate preaches getting a better physique.
You really body watching right now? You're body shaming, but you can't fight, pussy?
Damn.
How you go body shaming and you scared of a fight?
He's
You got
watching
nothing to
the
talk
stream.
about. I'm not watching your fucking clips. Tell that to your chat. Let's pull up. Were you in Tampa? Say that shit to my face. I ain't watching no clips on Twitch on a bot platform. I know you listening to me right now. You in Tampa? Tell that shit to my face.
Boom.
If you really stand on it. If you're a real man, stand on it and tell me to my face.
Sit on
Hey,
it. Sit on
do you
a
still have
cake.
me unmuted on Rumble, Sneako? To the Rumbler that
The sneakster. I never smile.
said I'm built like SpongeBob? Hey, yeah, when he had anchor arms, baby. Look at that.
Aw, is Sneako hurt again? His comedy sucks, by the way.
I just don't get how that's an insult. I always ask girls, what do you mean by football? What does that mean? It means like you look like you don't text back. You look like you play with girls' emotions for sex. Thank you. At least I'm not a nerd.
You know, it's interesting because Sneako has said multiple times that he grew up in like an area where he felt like, okay, this is his perspective on, like, he had a conversation about like stop Asian hate and like the relations between black and white or black and Asian people, and he always talked about how he go to get picked on because he's like a nerd and he thinks that black people will pick on Asian people because they think that they're nerds and like stereotypically weaker, and he says that's the stereotype that Asian people operate with. I feel like that's his whole persona, is getting made fun of and like bullied when he was younger, I guess by a couple of black kids. I got bullied by some black people too, but then I would bully him back. It's called just being a silly goose. You know what I mean? Having a little bit of silly fun. You know? That's how it is, brother. You just have a little fun. You know? But I feel like that's his whole personality, is like literally he was bullied when he was younger, and now that's his entire personality as a person. Sad stuff, man. Sad stuff.
Oh. Listen, hey, you don't just get to choose which ones to follow, which ones to don't. You gotta stay consistent. You know, I think everybody has these preconceived perceptions and they follow that and they stick to that. You gotta think outside the box, man.
I think the funniest part is that like he criticized. It's so weird because he criticized Curtis Connor for his comedy. And by the way, I didn't really find either of their comedies funny, but it's just not for me. I don't really care, and I'm aware of that. But Sneako, like, he was like, "Oh, your comedy sucks." It's like, but you did your own comedy, and it also sucks. Like, why? Like, if anything, I feel like as a comedian, there should be like respect about like it's hard to get up on stage. Like, you should be like, "Oh, it's not for me," but like I can respect the grind. I can respect that I'm just getting my fucking tits turned right now. Hey, what are you gonna do, right?
You see how uncomfortable the room is now? I'm talking about that and stuff like that. Is that okay? I feel like a lot of you, I don't know, we're just kind of dying, no? I feel that. I feel the awkwardness. Keep chatting in the back.
Is the stand-up comedy or a TED Talk?
But think about it. Come on. Like that lady down south, the pink lot, she's probably going to be homophobic, right? And we always act surprised when they go on TV, they say something, and they get fired. Like, what did you think that she thought, this lady down south? You think that she was going to have some progressive beliefs about gender norms and about homophobia? No. Like, if my daughter Sally was trans, I'd be fine with it. That's not how they think. Just like you guys up here think that there's 40 genders.
Let's see what the judges think.
I just don't really, I kind of stopped following the conversation. Yeah.
Alright, so I gotta ask how many genders are there? How many genders are there? You sure?
Yo, when the judge is funnier than
Hey, thanks for the small gut, brother. Okay.
Sneako's comedy routine.
I'll never be cool. Don't get what I want.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with using comedy to talk about stuff like that, but like you have to make a point. Oh, you think there's 40 gender? Okay, like make a political point. Like, I don't think people should get canceled either, right? Because they're ignorant. But like, it's not good to be racist. Hot take, guys. I know that's a brave take from. I know that's a really brave take, guys. But that's like his whole point. Is like, you really don't think a Southern woman's gonna be racist? Like, no, I would expect them to. I don't think it's good, but I don't think that you should lose your livelihood because it's just gonna make you more racist anyway. You know, I lost my fucking job because I said something I felt and I didn't realize I was ignorant. Like, yeah, that's not smart. You're just gonna create more racist people. But we shouldn't tolerate it. We should just have proportionate responses. But like, how is it funny to just be like, oh, racism, okay? Like, what's weird? It's just a weird take. There's nothing particularly intelligent or funny about what you're saying. So people love George Carlin because he was funny, but he would also tell. He would do like really good social commentary, and those are really like the best comedians. Frankly, I feel like the best political figures are the best comedians. Like, I mean, I love Jon Stewart. I think he's a funny guy. Some of his comedy's a little corny too, but I love it. He's like an intelligent guy. He's quick. He's very politically educated. He cares a lot. Like, this is the people that, like, you know, they're great, you know? And even now, as like I'm getting older, like I feel like I'm still learning from somebody like Jon Stewart, you know? I just fucking, I don't know, man. Fuck.
I'm way lamer than you. I'll never be cool.
I just want to reiterate how much of a bitch this guy is. He's somebody that will act all tough, but as soon as somebody steps up to the plate, he shifts the goalpost. For instance, he gets a video made on him by Mr. Beard, who didn't want to debate SNEAKO live. So SNEAKO, even though he couldn't refute any points, twisted it into being a victory.
This guy, look at him bottom left, another one of the fucking faggots who afraid.
Mr. Beard was Ryan, I believe, calls themselves now, but talked to SNEAKO live with me. Why would he do it again? And not for nothing, when that conversation happened between myself and SNEAKO, he had people put clips of it all over the internet, on TikTok especially, and he got trashed because not only was he stupid in the conversation, but people still remember me from TikTok, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like, don't you know who this guy is?" Like, because people know that, like, I'm an edgy little fucker. So he didn't even look good. He looked like he just looked dumb. So it didn't even really work to his favor. So why would he have a conversation with you again? There's really no. It's one of those things where, like, SNEAKO's the kind of person that can have like an intelligent, honest conversation. So why bother engaging with him? So, you know what I mean? Why bother engaging with somebody that can't have honest conversations?
A debate.
Berkey Tom then makes a video on SNEAKO, and SNEAKO challenged him to a debate. Only this time, Tom accepts the debate. SNEAKO then ghosted Tom with his excuse being that he wants to go on a bigger streamer show. SNEAKO then gets into a fight with Charlie, and Charlie has a bigger audience than him too. So SNEAKO has to shift the goalpost yet again to where Charlie has to meet him in
Damn, he dodged Turkey Tom's debate. Jesus, what a stinky boy.
real life. Otherwise, it's just another classic SNEAKO W.
Chat, I'm not reacting to a stream. This guy's pissed me off, and you can tell him this. I want to meet him in person. 17K Rumble W. W's in the chat not only for this guy being a fucking pussy, but also for the fact that I just lapped you on Rumble.
Yeah, man, you get like 20K views a video. It's not impressive. And then finally, when Brandon Buckingham is down to meet SNEAKO, he's there to box him. They're both similar sizes. SNEAKO would now rather just sit at home and tell jokes behind his computer.
I'd rather sit at home and yell at a camera, tell jokes, than, you know, risk my manhood falling flat for Brandon Buckingham, you know, if I lose a fight.
So now it's suddenly cool to just stay at home and keep it all online. You know what? I'm realizing the people SNEAKO's down to fight, it's coming off as a bit pussy.
It's funny how, like, it's not that he doesn't want to, like, I wouldn't want to fight because I'm fat, right? But he doesn't want to fight because he doesn't want to hurt the fragile concept of his masculinity. Like, that's just pathetic, dude. Like, what are you doing? That's the whole, like, I'm gonna fight you thing, is like you're supposed to fight everybody. No, I don't understand. You know, and you're even admitting that it's just because you feel like you're gonna lose and you're gonna look like a fucking bitch. Like, whatever. I mean, that's just weird. It's bizarre. I'm burping.
Pussy to me. He's down to fight two women.
Me and you, we get in the cage. Who's winning in a fight? Monica, I just want to take your bun in a fist and then slam it down like I'm mashing butter. Your dumb mouth that I want to. It's something. And I'm learning and I'm growing. I did not mean to say that I would grab her bun and smash her head up and down like I'm mashing butter onto my crotch.
Charlie, who's 5'6".
I can beat the shit out of Penguin Zero. He knows it. You pussy to meet in real life. God damn, I need some W's for that, bro.
D'Angelo Wallace, who's a 5'7" gay man and whose only interaction with SNEAKO was leaving a mean comment.
You bum, you lilt.
Does he identify as a man? I'm not criticizing. I'm just wondering. You know, nowadays you can't tell anymore. I'm just confused. I'm getting too old, man. Shit's crazy. Shit's crazy, dude. Shit's crazy.
Heck, Ellen looking at you, fucking weirdo. Just another gay nerd with glasses who probably talks the same way and snitches on people. Angela Wallace, you got me feeling some type of way, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Those glasses, this one little bit. I challenge you. You want to box me, bro? Let's do a 1v1 boxing match. You say I belong to the streets? Yeah, I belong to the streets. We can rock this out on the streets, or we can do it in the ring, bro. Let's box.
And Ethan Klein, who...
By the way, that's the only thing that that the guy said. When SNEAKO talked about how he cheated on his girlfriend or whatever, the Angelo Wallace was like, oh, you belong to the streets. And he got so offended by that. And he was like, I want to fight you. And he went on like a whole like fucking tirade. Like a whole meltdown tirade. Isn't that fucking mature as fuck? Holy crap.
Yeah, I feel really tough around these people too, SNEAKO. It really takes a big man to act the way you do.
You fat lying piece of shit. I would beat the fuck out of you, Ethan Klein. If you said that about me, you lied to my name to my face. Let's get in the ring. Stop talking shit about me and let's box.
Oh yeah, that's a top G attitude right there. Wanting to fight these people? Tough. Wanting to fight somebody your own size who's also training to box? Nah, man, let's just leave it online. Let's leave it to online debate.
If I was any more inbred, I'd be a sandwich.
SNEAKO's motto is to seek truth through funny.
My motto for the stream is seek truth through funny. I believe in, ultimately, I think my philosophy is comedy, is funny. I think if you follow that, you can never really be derailed.
Yeah, this guy's real deep. It would be a great motto, except he never seeks the truth about anything. He usually just makes shit up and then repeats it as if it's the truth. Honest to God, this guy thinks that working out will get you banned on YouTube.
He's gonna turn into like another SNEAKO. He's just gonna be banned from everything. He just needs to fucking save himself. It's good that he's working out.
Isn't it funny how they know that working out and becoming better will get you banned?
That's not even what Hassan said. He just says these made up things all the time. I'm like, when
Hassan literally works out. He's just talking. That's how he looks at the manosphere, just working out and getting better. But like the manosphere doesn't give any valuable information on how to like be better. So it'll say go to the gym, which is advice. It's good advice, but like, what do you do when you're there? Like, I have yet to see any red pill guy talk about like the ways to start getting into like weight training. Like, hey, I haven't seen anybody talk about like a 5x5 routine, talking about how you need to like learn technique and do like a high frequency, low volume routine so that you can like learn technique. I haven't seen anybody talk about like what programs you could use, not just like not just give you advice like a bodybuilding.com website, because that's easy. You know, you could do 8 sets of 10 to 12. Like that's not, or fucking 4 sets of 8 to 12 rather. That's not like a routine. That's just numbers. Like an actual routine with progressive overload, deloading protocols, focusing on actually executing proper technique, progressive overload, all these things. Never talk about that. They're just like, go gym. And it makes me question, like, do you really know how to work out? Or are you just like a skinny guy that's like never been fat? So you like you have skinny muscles. You know what I mean? Like, I'd say go do Wendler 531 if you're new to the gym. Just 5x5 strong lifts. These are great things to use, you know. But I've never seen anybody give any advice on that. They're like, oh, workout bed. No, man. Like, nobody says that.
Is this happening? Name one time. He can't because it's not true.
Yo, is this person retarded?
Yes, she's retarded. Is that the answer you're looking
Stop
for?
use that word, please.
It's comedy. It's funny. I think if you follow that, you can never really be derailed.
Even worse is he is the most painfully unfunny person I've ever had the displeasure of watching. This video took so long to make because he is so boring to watch. His main thing is telling people he's funny, because that's what funny people do, right?
Because what I'm good at is a message. I'm good at speaking to a camera. I can crack some jokes and stuff like that. Ha! Woo! Ah! You know what I'm saying? I'm good at entertaining you.
Wow. His best bit is putting an L in front of someone's name when he dislikes them.
Larandon, Luckingham, Lasanabi, L3, Ethan Decline.
It's not even a good roast, and he had to steal this from Gideon. You know what? Actually, the joke's good. It's kind of growing on me. Because you'd be Liko. Like when you cried to Brandon because he made fun of your cuck open relationship.
To my surprise, SNEAKO FaceTimes me literally crying like he had just seen the...
And he falsely accused Brandon of threatening to rape his girlfriend. That was another thing he did. So
worst shit in his life. He's got tears rolling down his face because I said some stuff about his girlfriend and said I'd knock him out. Like, what? You're crying? Are you serious?
Even when he's winning, he'd be Wiko. But what if somebody's stupid? Like really stupid? They'd be SNEAKO.
Yo, is this person retarded?
Leave Rico alone.
La da da, a toast to the bad guy. With bad bitches, the bad times will pass by.
I like SNEAKO because he really is just looking out for guys like me. Being online, there's a lot of false or at the very least exaggerated sexual assault allegations, and Rico is very passionate about the subject.
Real talk, chat. That they, them, blue hair, whatever the fuck, feminist should go to jail. You should go to jail for lying about that. It should be, I don't even know about is it a felony to lie about a felony? She should spend the night in jail, but she won't because she's a woman.
I agree. Every year online, we see false allegations that do real harm to people's careers, and the accusers face zero repercussions, and it ultimately makes it harder for the real victims to come forward. But what if I told you SNEAKO has accused his critics of doing those exact same things simply because he doesn't like them?
Oh, you know who's an L-mans? Brandon Buckingham.
Oh, yeah.
That guy sucks. Bro, literally said, I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend. Yeah. Literally said that. This dude said he is going to R-word my girlfriend. Bro, nothing warrants saying I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend. That's some school shooter vibes, bro. Literally, word for word. I'm going to R-word your girlfriend on his fucking public Instagram story.
Brandon never said that. In fact, he didn't even allude to it.
Saying you're gonna R-word my girlfriend?
He said that?
Yes.
What he actually said was like, it was that whole petty thing that was going on where Brandon had asked him if he wanted to fight, but like not in like a call out way, just like, oh, do you want to like fight or whatever? We could do like an event. It was like some pretty chill stuff. And then SNEAKO took it the wrong way. It was like, why are you always on my dick? And then like that turned into a whole thing. So Brandon was just like, fight. Like then he did like a call out. He's like, fight me or I'll meet up with your girl and fuck her like she wants me to. Cause like that's the girl that like wants to get cucked or whatever, like, you know. And SNEAKO's like, oh, he threatened to rape her, blah, 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 blah. Even though she was hitting on Brandon when they met. You know what I mean? Like, just typical stuff, you know?
Yes!
No. Brandon Buckingham got in a pissing match with SNEAKO in DMs, so Brandon said he was going to run a train on his girl, because SNEAKO was in an open relationship at the time.
Saying that you lied and said that he said he wanted to R-word your girlfriend.
He said he wanted to pull up and run a train on my girl. He said me and the whole gang are gonna run a train on your girl.
Okay, but you said that. You said he said he R-word her. That's two different things.
The silence, bro.
Yeah, pulling up with the gang and saying you're gonna run a train on my girl, who obviously is not attracted to him. That's an R-word, bro.
Bro, but you can't just.
It's funny because by this logic that's sexual assault, then SNEAKO simulated sexual assault of Chad. Like you really don't get it two ways. And I default half defended SNEAKO. I was like, yeah, it's inappropriate. It's sexual harassment for sure, but it's not simulating sexual assault. Like I think what's the guy's name? The green guy? I forget his name. Nick is not green. And I was like, no, I think it's wrong, but I don't think that he's actually like simulating sexual assault. But then SNEAKO comes out and calls this sexual assault, and it's like, okay, so now what you did must be by that logic. So
throw the R word out like that, like bro, that's like false accusations.
Okay, so what does that mean? Like me and the gang are gonna pull up and run a train on your girl. What is that?
Well, that's like me saying like, bro, if you keep on talking shit, I'm gonna fuck your bitch. That doesn't mean like I'm actually gonna do it. It's just talking shit.
Okay, talking shit by threatening R-word.
That's not the same as R-word, and like I'm not gonna agree with that.
Damn.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
Dude is literally admitting to falsely accusing Brandon.
For all the guys who were falsely accused of shit they didn't do by bitches who were lying like you, go to jail right now. Feel bad. I know you won't. I know you're watching this too, bro. It's nice having like a little bit of clout now because they all watch this. You should be ashamed of yourself. Think about all the women who actually got SA'd.
Even in this clip, he doesn't even look serious. I don't think he doesn't care. He doesn't care about sexual assault. Like he doesn't give a shit about it. Like even this, he has like a little smug smile on his face. He doesn't care about anything that he says. You know, because he's trying to make a point of like, you've been invalidating women that are actually sexually assaulted. But like he doesn't care. Like you could tell by his face. It's just like this fake. He can't even fake like the fucking borderline laugh that he's running on right now.
And now the next time that's gonna happen, the next time the cops show up, maybe they're gonna give him a hard time.
It wouldn't be consensual. Like she doesn't want that, and he lied and said like my girl, like she was giving me the eyes at dinner and stuff like that. I'm gonna pull up and like gangbang with it, run a train on her, and he was threatening me with that. Like maybe it wasn't R word, but he was threatening me with that. And it's like my girl would not be down to do that.
This was the
I think he's upset because his girl would absolutely be down to do that.
same girl that was cucking him, banging other dudes right in front of him. She would take him to sex parties and he would sit there crisscross applesauce as some dude pounds his girl on the same bed.
So we go in there with the mentality that whatever happens inside that party just stays at the party. Like, yeah. And so I saw her. I've seen her fuck other men. I wanted to break this down, like, because this was imagine seeing the girl you love, like.
It's weird that he said other men because SNEAKO's not a man, so he's seen his girl get fucked by men, real men. You know what I mean? That's all it really is. Because SNEAKO's not a real man. He's a fucking child.
Get fucked.
Get fucked.
You love her?
Yeah, I do. I love. Yeah, I love her.
Loving.
I was about to say love her. I love my wifey, my queen.
And you allow the love of your life to get fucked by another man. So can she enjoy it? Like, what if she's enjoying it too much?
That's the thing. It's like she's moaning pretty loud. Like I don't know, like how much you. I didn't expect you to
be moaning loud.
Huh?
She was moaning loud.
So all right, so we went on two different. Okay, hold on. We went on two different occasions. The first time,
crazy.
The first time, as soon as I saw it, like 3 pumps in, I just got up and walked out. I'm just like, I can't do that.
But then he went back and watched it happen again.
It should be fair that she can take other dick if I'm fucking another pussy. Like,
equality.
That's balance. So if it's gonna happen, I might as well see it, supervise it, make sure everything's okay.
Wait, what? No, you didn't have to jump to that conclusion.
Well, it's worse if it happens behind my back. Like I don't want it.
It's not. But y'all both knowing that it's happening.
So it's never behind your back anymore. You just gotta know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like being in like a consensual open relationship or whatever, or both parties are sleeping with other people. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's weird that he's like in the room getting like emotionally devastated while his girlfriend gets fucked better than like he fucks her. You know, that's the sad part. Then it comes into question like why does she want to be in an open relationship? I'm not trying to be that guy, but I feel like I personally, and maybe this is a little sexist, but whatever. I think that like women wanting to sleep around with men in a relationship is a little different generally. I'm sure that there are people who just like sex or whatever. But I don't know, man. Like men tend to be like more physical when it comes to sex, and women tend to be a little more emotional. I'm not saying women can't have like a physical sex or whatever, but my point is that I feel like women usually need to be in love first. So if a woman is looking outside the relationship for sex, I find it weirder than a guy doing it. I don't think it's right either way, right? But I find it a little weirder. And so like I don't know, you know, maybe she was just the kind of girl that likes doing that, or maybe he wasn't really able to satisfy her, so he was looking outside, or she was looking outside the relationship. Maybe that's just me being a little sexist and regressive, but I'm just saying, man. You know, I'm just saying what we're all thinking. Okay, that's all I'm saying, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Oh,
I gotta see.
It don't need to be literally in front of you.
It was literally like this far away from me.
Can you? What?
So twice, yeah.
Hold on. Wait, how close was it?
We're on the same bench.
Were you fucking his girl?
I was not fucking with her.
So you just sat there Indian style with your feet crossed.
So you're telling me SNEAKO's girl, who bangs other guys all the time as SNEAKO watches, wouldn't hook up with Brandon?
And when I was out at dinner with SNEAKO and his girlfriend in New York, she was flirting with everyone very hard, making it entirely apparent she was fair game and was seemingly down to hook up, but none of us reciprocated this behavior.
Okay, maybe not.
And that makes me feel like I was right about my assessment, because like it's one thing to be open, it's another thing to be like openly doing that in front of your fucking your man, right? Like it's one thing like, okay, we're open, but there should still be an understanding of respect to not be hitting on people in front of each other like that. Like that's uncomfortable. Like that should be a boundary violation is what we would call it. So
But would it be consensual? Like, she doesn't want that. And he lied and said, like, my girl, like, she was giving me the eyes at dinner and stuff like that.
And she grabbed it. She's like, I want you to fuck me. I was like, whoa.
What? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Brandon on this one. I think that's something she'd do.
What the fuck is this song?
SNEAKO is a cuck, but did you know he's also mentally cucked as well? We've already seen how SNEAKO will take brain-dead stances, such as Hitler is not a Nazi, and that seatbelts will make you more unsafe. He does this because he's not his own man. He has to pander to the red pill. Well, this extends into his relationship with Nick Fuentes. Nick is a far-right political voice, and also, according to SNEAKO, his friend.
Hey, what's up? This is my new friend, Nick Fuentes.
Throughout the stream, Nick would defend his extreme views, stuff that literally goes against SNEAKO's existence.
How do you feel about interracial marriages?
I'm against it.
But he's not racist, guys. He's not racist. He's just against interracial marriages. Anyway, what I find really interesting is that when it comes to like objective statistics, like COVID statistics that say like, hey, you should probably wear a mask, SNEAKO says it's all fake, it's all a bot, information isn't real, you could find information that agrees with you, blah, 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 blah. He dismisses all of it. And like he's instant about it. He's not even open to looking at the information. But when he was live with Nick Fuentes, and Nick was like, yeah, Black and Hispanic people are biologically inferior because look at the statistics. Their IQs are lower. And won't take systemic racism into account. And SNEAKO goes, well, can you show me some information about that? So he'll instantly deny COVID statistics and swear that they're not real, even though those exist. But when he hears that somebody thinks that he is less than for being like, I think he's part Black and Hispanic, he's open to listening to what is being said. How does that make any fucking sense? Like, it doesn't. Like, SNEAKO's just anti-mainstream. Like, he's just a sheep in the opposite direction, right? So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
What about you, Gian? Do you believe in mixed love?
Mixed love, man. Love is love, bro. I
Love
love
is
my
love,
snow
baby.
bunnies. I love my Latino. Love my Asian girls. Nick Fuentes, man.
I gotta ask, Nick, how do you feel when you see a Black guy just getting with the snow bunnies? Like, is that something that listens to Jimmy's?
She's gonna get BBC'd, Nick. Your white girl's gonna get BBC'd.
Well, the problem is all these white girls always end up getting their ass kicked and left behind. That's what typically happens. What?
That's not
Are you
racist.
talking about who?
My Black boyfriend.
Oh, okay. So you trying to say we out here beating these white women? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, that is something that happens. Maybe not you guys. You guys.
This is your friend. Here's the thing. Nick says stuff that is funny, but it's not jokes. He really does mean it.
I covered a story about this on my show a couple weeks ago, but that's not the only thing. Here's the thing. I'm halfway kidding about that. The thing is, and I was explaining this to SNEAKO, is what?
Halfway.
Halfway. Here you go. So I said, yeah, like I'm against race mixing. Like I said to you guys right now, I said, yeah, I don't approve of that.
Nick Fuentes has been hanging out with Kanye a lot, and SNEAKO agrees with Ye about everything. So it's not rare for them to be fueling Jewish conspiracies.
And organized crime around the world. That's how they're able to funnel.
No, my understanding is like that SNEAKO is like part Hispanic, part like Asian, and part Black, right? I'm pretty sure that's true. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm like almost certain that that's his identity. I know that you're saying that he's Filipino, but I'm pretty sure that he's like mixed. So
money from the U.S. government to like organized crime, to the cartels, to all kinds of shady things, terrorism that goes on in the world. That's a huge part of the problem globally is shadow banking.
And who's behind it?
The Jews, he's going to say, obviously.
We talked about it, SNEAKO. A lot of Jews. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it's true.
He thinks Black people on average are biologically dumber than everyone else.
I told SNEAKO this. We call this race realism, okay, which is to say that race is real. Like it's not fake, it's not skin deep, race is real. There are different races and there's meaningful differences. And one of the things is that on average, the races have different IQs. And so on average, Asians have the highest IQ, and on average, Blacks have the lowest IQ. And that's why I told SNEAKO. And no, that's average.
He's not Hispanic. Okay, he's Black and Filipino. Okay. I got one of those wrong. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh, maybe that's why SNEAKO likes it, because he's part Asian, and so he feels good about himself for being a nerd, right? Is that what it is? I don't know, but
okay, it's not. I'm not saying black people are dumb. I'm not saying that.
That's
I'm saying
exactly
that when
what
you
he
average
said.
it out,
You're kind of saying that.
I'm not. I'm saying on average. Well, I'm saying
I
on
should
average.
shit on
On
it.
average, there's differences between the IQs. So I believe there are black geniuses like Kanye West. I think he's a black genius, but there's fewer black geniuses than there are Asian geniuses. As an example.
It's not about the color of your skin or your race. It's about your morality. It's about your decision making. What's right? What's wrong? How do you treat other people? Isn't that what it all comes down to?
Well, I mean, you could say that, but the thing is that, you know, human beings have a tendency to fight with each other. And you can say that, we could say that sitting down here, but what happens when, what would happen if you and I were living in the same house? That's the kind of concept.
Oh my
When
God,
you and I are on a
shit on
Discord
it.
call, we're sort of strangers, we're talking about ideas, that's great. But what if we're living in the same house and there's a fight over, you know, who gets to shower when, and who gets this seat on the couch, and who, these are the kinds of things that happen in a dense,
Wait, do you think you'd
urban
fight with him because he's
population.
black over that?
I wouldn't fight about stuff like that. And
Hold, I want to hear Destiny's.
He's making like a comparison to like in your house of like in the same country. That's the comparison that Nick's making, because I remember I've watched this conversation before, so I know that's what he's talking about there.
Answer to Destiny's question.
Well, yeah. Would you fight more with a black person over who gets to use the shower?
Yes,
over?
yes, and here's why.
True, I would too, because black people are in the shower for so fucking long. But honestly, I know that black people would fight with white people for taking a shower too, because white people use face cloths to wipe their ass. Oh no, they don't use a face cloth; they just use the whole regular bar of soap. So it's kind of gross if you think about it. Now I don't care. I just put my ass hair on the fucking soap and you can cope. But black people don't like that shit. That's why they use face cloths more. So I mean, if I was a black guy, I might not want to live with a white guy either. You know, because then you got to fucking. But you're still sharing the face cloth. You know what I mean? So it's like weird. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's just a shower. I feel like soap washes itself, right? So who cares if you stuck it directly into your asshole? Because it's so you can't have dirty soap, right? My logic makes sense here. I know.
Who do people side with in prison? White people stick with the white people, black people stick with black people, and they're obviously going to fight a white person. A black person going to fight with a white person, and a white person going to fight with a black person over the shower.
Hold on.
Way more
Why are we talking
likely
about prison?
Because
prison
prison
is
is
a
where
different
people
environment.
gang up. That's when we don't have like Discord, and that's where people act in their natural state. People are very likely to.
Prison is literally the least natural.
Yeah, Destiny needed to jump in this conversation, because I remember up until this point, like everybody was kind of eating up like Nick Fuentes not being a racist, and then Destiny joined in, and like he's like fucking Nick Fuentes whisperer or something. Like he knows like literally everything about Nick Fuentes and like all the racist shit. That's where we learned that Nick thinks that sleeping with a black person is degenerate, like sleeping with a dog, right? And it's so funny. There's people who were like, when I say that in my videos, are like, no, that's not true. You're being dishonest. He didn't say that sleeping with a black person is the same as sleeping with a dog. He said they're both degenerate. Just the dog is more degenerate. It's like, that's your defense. That's that Nick Fuentes isn't a racist because he still thinks that black people are less than human, but not quite as bad as dogs. Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you quantify? Like, how is it your justifier? You guys are coping so hard. It's fucking crazy.
Place you can be. You're literally locked in there with more rules than any other part of society.
Fighting for your survival.
You do think black and white people being together is degenerate. You do think that Jews secretly run the world. You do think that like race realism is like a foundational belief of your structure.
And he actually believes that SNEAKO's existence is a product of this degeneracy.
Because you're right, I am a race realist, and I do believe these kinds of things.
Yet at the end of the call, this is what SNEAKO has to say about someone who thinks he shouldn't even exist.
What is your opinion? Nick and I have a very similar worldview. Nick believes a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. Like Nick really, if I listened to this whole call, I don't think he said anything that makes you want to cancel him. I think he's a good guy. He's saying, hey, I love everybody. Is he really being that exclusionary?
Yo, that's crazy.
Bro,
SNEAKO. I'm not gonna lie. If he had his way and he had, first off, you wouldn't even exist because you're the basis of an interracial marriage. So whatever kind of prescriptive ideas that he's got for the world, you are literally an individual that wouldn't exist in it.
Mentally cucked.
In a constant state of fear and misery, do you miss me anymore?
SNEAKO is actually a really sad case, because even though we'll brag about his financial success and how much more popular he is,
I've made more money in the past 2 months than I made in the past 3 years.
Damn.
I'm doing well. And I got there last year by going from broke.
I believe that's what we call a sellout. It was when you sacrifice your morals and your principles for money, right? Is that not what we would call a sellout, guys? I mean, come on, let's be real.
To a millionaire in 2022. Biggest year of my life, craziest year of my life, cancellation, all that. Started with 1 million subscribers, ended with no YouTube channel but $1 million.
He's actually lost a lot. His views have dropped dramatically, often not even hitting 10K. He talks about the red pill and bots so much, his family doesn't even invite him over for Christmas anymore.
Like this is the first Christmas I didn't go home because of my association with Ye.
Yeah, this was actually, like, unironically the saddest thing is that his family is so disappointed with him that they don't even really want to see him or be around him. because he's associated with a bad person. Well, Kanye's a fucking mess. But he's associated with like really like dysfunctional political beliefs that like promote hatred, and they are just so disappointed in like, their own son because like because they don't want to like hang out with him. Then like it's really sad that you know what I mean. But like that's toxic. Like that's not just being like, oh, I'm a conservative, I'm a progressive, we have different views. I mean, Kanye literally thinks that like Jews are fucking running the world and that fucking Hitler was okay. And like, you know, and he justifies everything that's being said because SNEAKO isn't a free thinker. He wants to like Kanye, so he needs to justify why it's okay to like the guy. And everything's just like cancel culture, and nothing is like justifiably bad or anything, you know? Like it's fucking Coke brand, you know? It says stuff. I'm getting my shit pushed.
Because Ye was talking about, they called him anti-Semitic, they lied about him.
He is
and
anti-Semitic.
So my association with the people that you want to have on a panel, like Nick Fuentes and Ye, that...
By the way, the saddest thing was like I watched the whole Lex Friedman conversation with Kanye West, and like I thought that he got somewhere. He was like really opening up. Lex was like really talking to Kanye like a person. And he's trying to like flush out like why he had this hatred in his heart, and they got somewhere. And then afterwards, Kanye was like, "Nah, fuck that guy." It was so sad because I like Lex Friedman a lot. Like he's a good guy. He's really smart. I really appreciate him and his like values of like, you know, prioritizing love and getting my ass pounded in this fucking game. But you know, so that was like really sad because he gave him the benefit of the doubt, and he's Jewish, and he was really trying to like give him the benefit of the doubt and try to work through his like prejudices.
That pushed me away. They're like, we don't want you to talk about this.
All he's got to do is act like a normal person while home for the holidays, and he can't. He's got to talk about how they're vaccinated and they voted for Biden.
Wait, so like your mom?
My family, just like my whole family.
Really, your whole family?
Yeah. All vaccinated, all Biden voters, all Ukraine, you know.
Wow,
Stop it. Can you red pill some of them?
I think we all have at least one family member that doesn't know how to shut.
When Pearl's the only one that's really on your side, I mean, you're just gonna have to shit and come at that point. I mean, holy fuck. Another person at Destiny's just embarrassed and made look really dumb by just like presenting common sense to them. I mean, fuck. So.
Up and act normal while home for Thanksgiving or Christmas? Well, SNEAKO is that guy.
I still love them, of course, and I'm sure they still love me, but the reason is like they just wouldn't be able to handle a conversation at the dinner table because, you know, woke people don't know how to have discourse. They don't know how to disagree healthily. They get so emotionally involved and they want to live in their delusion. They want to be like the Facker who's saying, I'm perfect the way I am.
Bro, I'm really tired of like the fucking woke conversation. Cause like, yeah, woke people are annoying, but like typical fucking like manosphere conservative bullshit move to just pretend that like all fucking progressives are woke and just have to like this war on wokeism because people are like, oh, we should not treat fat people like they should be fucking killed. Like that's really what it kind of boils down to. Like I understand that there are really annoying woke people, but most people are just like considerate. And it's just like, oh wow, it's war on wokeism. And meanwhile, like, what are fucking conservatives like platforming on? I'm not trying to be a fucking asshole, but I mean, Jesus Christ, all talking about like, oh, woke this, woke that, blah blah blah. Like the entire conservative platform is fucking like anti-trans people. That's it. Like, what's the platform? What is the platform? That's all it is. It's fucking weird. It's like annoying as fuck too. Oh, I put this on too soon. Fuck. Okay.
There it is. You know what? There's something poetic about SNEAKO. By embracing the red pill and eating that taint, SNEAKO was able to become rich.
My life has started to change for the better. I've made more money in the last 2 months than I've made in the past 2 years.
But in return, he's lost his YouTube channel, his girlfriend cucked him, and now he's spending the holidays alone.
A good community around me. I've been saying to my chat, that's why my Rumble stream is doing so well. Like my chat's my family. Like that's what I look forward to every single night. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm just excited to get on the stream, see all the same like usernames that I see. I talk to them all the time. So that's the family right now. That's who I spend the most time with.
Bruh, this is sad. All the money in the world living in Miami, and his chat is all he's got. The dude's literally the Scrooge.
In this lonely, painful life.
I actually want to end this video by finding some common ground with SNEAKO, because he has said one thing that I agree with.
The alpha male. I know I'm not. I've never fucking once called myself that.
One other thing I want to bring up is SNEAKO's...
It's funny because he only says that when people call him out for like pretending that he's like this fucking alpha male. But like he thinks that he is. He just doesn't explicitly say it. But when he's like, I could beat up women, like he thinks he's a fucking alpha male. Like when he challenges every other guy to fight, but then he won't, fight ones that can actually beat him up. He thinks that he's like some kind of magical fucking alpha male. But
list, it's just a bunch of people that have bullied him in the past.
Hey, look at the soy boy collage. We added 2 to the top. Did you guys see there's another hippies video on me from another soy boy?
Imagine getting bullied by this guy. Well, I want to introduce my cuck boy. SNEAKO is the only guy I know that wants 5 wives but can't seem to get one.
Hey.
Guy. Well, I want to introduce my cuck boy.
I stand with Ryan Beard.
SNEAKO is the only guy I know that wants 5 wives but can't seem to get one.
That's insecurity.
I'm deeply afraid of somebody calling me a pussy.
You're a pussy. There, I helped you overcome your fear. Shout out to the bots over on Patreon. Phoebes, Crimson Glass, Zombie Fox, Riveter, Christina Vina, Detective Pika, Mac Monkey, Drain Kobex, Bo Blacks, Necro Valley, Stefan Bildman, Abby Blackbird, The Confusing Opinion, Matt Swanson, Eddie Brizzle, and the Soy Boys, Reynolds Hughes, Hellison, IG.
Oh.
P, Jason
I'm one
Johnson,
of the Soy
Taxi,
Boys.
Latchkey Goth Boy, Free Spirit Katie, Lore Reloaded, Papa Gut, Evan Do Things, and
I am a soy boy, though.
Addie Chris. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and until next time.
Sorry, Twitter's gay. Okay, good video. Very interesting. Always fun to revisit the SNEAKO shit. I guess fun. It was a good video.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.